Homegrown Hunter TV has been brought to you by Rack Stacker Brand Products, Canada's leading big game attractants company. Campbellford Chrysler, a small town dealer with a huge inventory. And Huckabones Equipment, Ottawa Valley's Kubota dealer. And these other fine sponsors. Welcome to today's episode. We're going to be heading back up to Mattawa, Ontario to hunt with Matthew Hawthorne of FastTrack Kennels. We're going to be hunting Crown land and trying to tree a couple of bears for me to take a shot at with this brand new Canadian PSE White Fang crossbow. But before doing so, we're actually going to take it out and try shooting up into an angle because we're going to be shooting that bear that's treed, so we want to make sure it's on cue at 25 to 30 feet in the air. And then at the end of the show, we're actually going to go out with my daughter for the spring bear hunt in Ontario again, but a different technique of hunting over bait at a very close proximity with my daughter and the first experience she's ever had. So stay tuned, this is going to be a good show. Slightly disappointed. Dead bear, just slightly to the left.
I like to book two guys only at a time. You have my full attention. I do everything for you guys. We cater a little bit, not too much. We like to keep it to a bare minimum. We do all the gutting and skinning and preparing for a taxidermist. We do a lot of fishing if we have time. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do. It depends on how the hunt goes. And I have a FastTrack Kennel page on Facebook also. You can follow along and see how we are. If you want to book a hunt, just contact me through there and we'll get talking.
Trail camera shows that there's a bear. It didn't knock the barrel over, but it's a good thing we put a trail cam on it. He's not the biggest bear in the woods, but he was there at 6:30 this morning. Nice little male bear, looks like.
Want to give him a try?
Oh yeah, we'll give him a try.
Release the hounds!
Get her done. Numerous times we've run bears off baits where the barrel isn't hit. Yeah. They come up, check it, not what they're looking for at that time or whatever. They're mostly into green grass right now.
So we're using the slop and the RTG as just a more added scent to get these guys coming to the cameras and see what we got going on in the area.
Yeah, to pinpoint them, to bring them to one spot so we can start the dogs and take them from there.
How many baits are we running?
We have 9 baits. They're all being hit right now, pretty good. They're off and on. It's funny if there's other hunters in the area baiting or the four-wheelers on the weekend or what it was, but the baits are off and on, and I just think that the grass has just come on in the last 6 days here with the leaves have come on, and it's interesting now that once they get that green grass in them, that now they're really going to start feeding on other foods and looking for that protein and where the corn comes in. So once they get that into them, that they just will stay right with it. Yeah.
We were actually traveling the roads trying to scout out other locations, and of course just a little bit of camaraderie in the truck, having some fun. What caught my eye with Matt is that he was saying that because it was a smaller bear, it's going to take multiple hours for them to tree that bear. So he had ended up calling in a buddy of his, Andrew, to help us basically cut that bear off and narrow down the area.
We got a contestant. All right. He's not a monster bear, but he'll give the dogs a good run.
Our season runs May 1st to June 15th. I booked four days for 2 guys. I try to put a couple days in between each hunt just to spread it apart, give the dogs a break, whatever. But it seems to be that we can run every day with these good dogs. So we have the fall seasons from August 15th to October 30th. So that's a good hunt too, less bugs. Yeah, bring your thermocelles in the spring, that's for sure. Well, the May 1st this year we had snow. Almost into June we're getting frost. So it's hard to prepare for a hunt when you don't know what the weather is going to be. One day it's raining, next day it's snowing, the next day it's plus 20. It's it's a really, you don't know what to prepare for. You got to go for the worst and be happy when it's the best.
Well, the dogs are all moving out pretty good. We got one dog, last dog we picked up was 0.89, going straight southeast of us, heading for the power line.
Yeah, this hunt's more of an adventure than just a sit on your butt kind of hunt. This is, climbing hills, on foot. We spend a lot of time in the truck, searching for the right bear to harvest and pursue. And once we get the dogs out, then it's, a lot of time in the truck until they get it caught. And it's an adventure. It's not just a, sit in one bait site.
Oh, they're on a bear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. When that silver is up front like that, that's guaranteed. He won't run anything but.
So what, in your opinion, what's going to force that bear up the tree? Just tired or just sick and tired of getting
Pressure from the dogs. He might never want to, he might just run all day. That was that bear looked like he had his running shoes on at the bait there. He'll keep going. Those dogs have to pressure him pretty good, circle him around. We'll either get a couple more fresh dogs on him and see if they can't get him up, or they'll just end up catching him, walking him, or it's hard to say on these bears. Some days they'll tree in 10 minutes or an hour, and some take 9.5 hours and bay them up in a beaver swamp. That's
crazy.
You just never know what that's what's exciting about hunting with hounds. You just never know where it's going to take you. It could take you places where you never think you would ever be. Well, that's that new rack stacker stuff. It's pretty good. Bears like it a lot.
Now, Matt had spent his time not only training these dogs to be treeing bears, but he was using top quality products in order to make sure that this was going to be a successful hunt for both myself and his dogs. And he was using a GPS tracking unit so that every dog that was in the field running after this bear had one of these collars on. And they could tell us everything from where it was, how much it traveled, the amount of barking it was doing per minute. And then, of course, when it treed, it would set a message back to us, letting us know that that dog or a group of dogs had treed the bear. It was pretty cool stuff. we had CB radios going all the time, trying to communicate back and forth on what the dogs were doing. And then we ended up cutting back to this hydro cut, this huge hillside hydro cut, which would be a ton of fun with four-wheelers. If you ever have an opportunity to get up in Mattawa, they've got some great four-wheeler trails. But we were up in this area, and we let 2 other dogs go to cut them off. So it was basically a triangular shaped area where my bear was just doing loops. So they let all kinds of dogs. I bet you they had 15 dogs going on this one bear, and they finally got it treed.
Get that crossbow ready there too.
Once the bear is caught, then we'll proceed on looking at maps, trying to figure out what's the best way to get in on it. In Northern Ontario, with all the lakes and creeks and rivers and stuff, it's you know, the topo map plays a big part in our hunt, deciding what way we're going to pursue getting into these bears. You have to be in good shape, and you have to have a mindset with these bugs that they're not going to carry you away in the woods.
For this particular hunt, I chose to use a broadhead called a Nuri. It's by a company called Rexbid. It means the king of speed. And this one here is a fixed blade, but it does have 2 pizza cutter designs that actually spin as it's going through the animal. I chose to use this one because of its being a black bear. If I hit the scapula blade or the bone in the shoulder or anything like that, it will still reflect through and cut as much and do as much damage as possible. So that's the reason why I chose this broadhead. They've got multiple different styles, but this one done the job. It actually killed the bear in the tree. The unfortunate part is it died and hunkered over a pine branch. So Matt volunteered to go get it for me.
Well, if you're looking for an experience, folks, this was probably one of the biggest bear hunts, at least a rush that I've ever had. Listening to those hounds chase, we've been chasing since about 8:30 this morning. It took 4 hours, and we're following the GPS, and the dogs were doing circles. But the amount of work it takes to track with the dogs and follow them, Matthew Hawthorne is extremely experienced with what he's doing out here, and I highly recommend you guys at least check him out and come out and experience it for yourself, because it's a rush. I'm usually a stand hunter over a bait site. I wanted to experience basically running with dogs, and Matthew knows what he's doing. We got it done. Matt and I, he shot his yesterday, I shot mine today. We've only been here 2 days. So we're gonna do a little bit of fishing, enjoy the next couple of days. And but for now, it's getting warm, and so am I. So we're gonna get this bear out of here and get him back to camp. Well, I was able to make it back to my shop here after a successful hunt. I got back here and hung my bear up. I'm about to skin her out for the taxidermist, but before doing so, I wanted to share with you what's called the Vitamin. It's a knife that's made by a company called Helle, and they're out of Norway, and everything about these knives is intriguing because they're made for outdoorsmen, for bushcraft or even hunting purposes. And this Vitamin has a gut hook on it. I'm just going to show you real close here. It's a super nice knife, and everything's handcrafted on. It's all hand sharpened and extremely sharp. In fact, it'll shave paper. And then the handle itself is also handmade. right down to the sheath. So I encourage you, if you're looking for any type of bushcraft knife of quality that's going to last you an extremely long time, I encourage you to go on to Google and Google Canada's Helle knives, and you'll find local dealers. Helle is an Helle, and that's what I'm going to be using here right now to skin out my bear. And then throughout the season we'll be able to share with you some other knives for purpose uses, for cutting meat or filleting fish and stuff like that. But check them out, Helle knives.
Well, we had a fantastic time hunting the Crown land here in central Ontario. Running hounds is something that I've gained to love. In fact, years ago I didn't enjoy it at all. But now that I've been able to experience it, I'm definitely going back next year. Now let's head back down to Tweed, Ontario, my hometown, where I take my daughter out to experience her first up-close personal experience with black bears. This one's a different type of setup. We're actually going to be doing it over bait, where my buddy Matt Cassidy was able to go in there with his family and set the stands, get everything all situated, set the baits up, so that later on in the season we were able to slide out there with my daughter and we're successful.
When I first found out that Dad was taking me out bear hunting, I was jacked. I mean, it would be my first time going out bear hunting with him, and I was just pumped. So I started telling all my friends at school I couldn't wait. So we were finally in the tree stand, and it was kind of getting around that time. I thought, kind of assumed that the bears would kind of start coming in, but everything doesn't always go according to schedule. So I was kind of getting bored looking at the same bait and same tree. So Dad handed me his phone and said, just play a quiet game and we'll just see if anything comes in. Well, within that 2 minutes of playing that game, a bear comes in. I almost dropped his phone out of the tree stand. But I was so excited, I'm like, oh my God, like that's what we've been waiting for. We saw this bear come in, and it was a sow with cubs, and we knew it was them because we had recent activity on the trail cameras at that bait. However, we also knew that there was a bigger bear there that we kind of wanted to hold out for. But there was this cute little guy that we saw, and the cub was knocking over the barrel and playing with the popcorn and gave us a lot of entertainment while waiting. Before taking the shot, we had a chat about the importance of shooting a sow. Dad also mentioned that they're 2-year-old cubs, meaning that their mom has taught them about winter survival, and that also makes it a fully legal bear to shoot in Ontario. And I personally feel better knowing that they'll be okay. And Dad also assured me that we'll continue to feed them through the summer months.
Hold on. We spend valuable money investing into food plot equipment throughout the year. When I get into the fall, I try and maintain as much as I can so that it's available in the springtime ready to rock and roll. I've got 3-point hitch sprayers as well as smaller sprayers that I use throughout the year, but when I get into the late fall and in my deer season, I try and maintain them with an antifreeze. One of your sprayers is a valuable diaphragm, and if you leave the water inside your sprayer, it's going to freeze during the winter months and crack the frame of the sprayer or the diaphragm. I just go to my local hardware store and pick up a plumbing antifreeze. After I drain all my fluid out of my sprayer, I'll put this jug in there and turn it on. When it filters down through the diaphragm, the pump, and in through the sprayer, I know that it's going to be good throughout the winter months and ready to rock for the springtime. Another thing you can do in the spring is just pour water in there, go out to your yard and spray it. It's not going to hurt anything, and then you're good to go to spray your food plots to get going for the springtime. That's your Kubota tech tip.
So what did you think of last night?
Last night it was so cool, like just to have that powerful creature right in front of you that close and to see how it moves and eats. It was just amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, eh? Well, Ashlyn was quite fidgety on the stand. She was excited to see what was happening. About an hour and a half into the hunt, we we agreed that she could play video games on my phone, and within a couple of minutes of playing video games, I've seen some black coming in from the side, eh?
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm like, and then like just watching them come in, it was so cool. Like,
yeah, they were quite content. We did have some daytime footage of them earlier on our trail cameras, so the cubs will be fine, and we'll go after that big boar that's still in there.
sounds good.
Awesome. All right, folks, I'm your host, Steve Elmy from Homegrown Hunter TV. Thanks for joining me this week, and we look forward to seeing you next time.